And finally, the main event of this. Never Openweight champion.
This is night 1, by the way. It's not this. It's night number 1.
Yes, I'm just going to roll with it.
It is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jay Wato.
For the Never Openweight champion.
Yes.
Once again, this match was freaking awesome. These two are so smooth together.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can see them face each other a million times and not get bored of it.
Exactly. And I felt like there was a great rivalry to it.
Right.
So, Jay White won. It was a Blade Runner for Jay White to not only win his first Never Openweight champion, but to make history.
Yep.
Where he was the first competitor to win the technical Grand Slam champion, at least for the time. Intercontinental, heavyweight, United States heavyweight, and now Never Openweight. Obviously, the lineages for some of these titles have changed.
Right.
But
quite a bit, actually.
Oh, yeah, very much so. But at least to when Jay White started his journey to start winning titles, because that's when they start doing this.
Right.
That's when they count it, and Jay White was the first one. They're like, oh, what about Tanahashi? Tanahashi never won the United States Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
But Jay White had to win.
Right.
This was like Jay White had to win, or else Jay White probably would have been dead in the water.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, that's kind of where I felt. I'm like, if he loses, I cannot take him seriously as a main event guy anymore. But they made the right call. They had a great promo after.
Oh my god!
Where now he's the real belt collector.
Oh, come on!
Please, we want this match. But a great little integration, a very subtle integration with AEW, Impact Wrestling, and all of that with the promotion, because obviously travel is a little bit hard. For people going out of there, but they want to keep that live and fresh.
Right.
So how they did it was great. Once again, a great match. Really put Jay White on there as being the next main event guy when Tanahashi is gone. And Tanahashi looked great. I can't really complain about this.
Right.
I mean, do you have anything else to say before you have to go upstairs and not trust a fart?
Nope. Anyways.
Anyway, so when we come...
Nope. We're going to do night 2.
Oh, we're doing that too. Yeah, that's right.
Let's get it done here.
All right. So we are back. We're going to make Wrestling Dontaku majestic again, but because of what happened with night number 2, we have to adjust it slightly.
So instead of talking about it match by match, we're going to talk about it kind of rivalry by rivalry, if that makes sense. Because really a lot of the matches that happened night 1...
happened night 2 because
and
of
vice
what
versa because of what happened
because of what happened with whoever got sick. As of right now, there have only been 2 individuals, at least in that 6-man tag. Let's
talk about. Well, I want to talk about Jay White first.
Okay,
what's next for Jay White? I mean, obviously, we know that he has beef with Kazuchika Okada.
Yep.
That's gonna happen at some point.
Right, but Okada still has a World Heavyweight Championship match guaranteed despite the postponement of Wrestling Grand Slam, which was going to happen in Tokyo Dome.
And I don't mind Ospreay v Okada. We've seen it before.
It's going to be a great match, but I feel like that's kind of what it was. Obviously, the problem with Jay White and everything that's going on there is that now he has a title, and I don't want... you said Okada, right? You said Okada White.
Yeah. Okada White.
I thought you said Ospreay. I'm like, wait, no. Ospreay?
Yeah, White? Sorry. If I said Ospreay, I meant White.
Okay, I think you said Okada. I might have said something. I might have heard something wrong there because both start with an O. Both are amazing, and both I jerk off to on a nightly basis.
It's Okada Ospreay. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Okay.
Obviously, that's happening, but with Jay White, I think he's in the perfect spot right now.
No, Jay White's fine where he's at.
Right, and
I don't want Jay White to do anything else other than what he's doing right now.
And obviously, I don't mind the thing with Tanahashi. If they even do another match for the Never Openweight title,
which they probably will, because he is entitled to a rematch clause.
Yep, absolutely. And I will not be mad about that because this was a great match.
All right, so question is, and what's next for Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr.? Obviously, at this point in time, I feel like they're kind of going their separate ways.
Well, here's the problem, though. The Dangerous Tekkers still have one more title match. They won it on night number 1.
Yeah, then Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are the tag team champions.
They are the tag team champions currently.
So you know that's going to happen.
Yes.
Although I feel like that match will be kind of that last sort of thing, and then the rivalry is going to kind of go off.
At least for now.
Or it's going to, those teams are going to go their separate ways.
Right, at least for now. They will most likely clash again, and given the chemistry that they have, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again.
Right. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm glad that they got the side of the rivalry that's kind of weird for a lot of people over with.
Right, with the Iron Fingers, or the Iron Finger of Doom, or whatever it is. I'm glad that they did get that done, and they had really good singles matches for night number 1, and the tag team match was surprisingly good, which is why they want to continue to promote Dangerous Tekkers and Gorillas of Destiny, because they have really good chemistry all the way around, from storytelling to match quality. You're never going to get wrong with that.
Right.
But the problem is that there are other teams in New Japan that definitely will need it. I feel like, once again, COVID is coming into play about what they can do.
Right.
I feel like we would have definitely have seen Thin Juice somewhere in the title scene at this point.
But they're stuck in America, of course, doing the... And we talked about this last week with Impact Wrestling. We did, or a few weeks ago with Impact Wrestling. We kind of knew that they were going to kind of stay in the U.S. for the time being, at least until the summer. So,
and then we have El Phantasmo now going to Impact, because it might be a little bit harder for him to go to Japan right now, especially given the new state of emergency orders for certain parts of Japan. I totally understand it.
So what about this?
Fucking Zack Sabre. Okay, I do want to say something about Zack Sabre Jr. that bothered me. I did not know he spoke fluent Japanese. And that was weird.
You're weird. He's been in Japan for like 5 or 6 years.
I don't know.
Speaking of
I just wasn't expecting somebody that was coming right out of fucking...
Speaking of an individual that cannot speak a language, let's talk about the rivalry that's continuing between the United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Hang on, I'm trying to
just in general.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Trying to find a picture.
Like this team. Like these two teams. This is, I think, United Empire's first big...
There we go. That's a much better picture.
Big rivalry, like, sort of thing. I don't know. What are your opinions on this?
So, I definitely think that. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we have multiple components in rivalries. We have, obviously, Takagi and Ospreay. We have Naito and Great-O-Khan. From that point on, there aren't a whole lot going right now, but I could definitely see Aaron Henare and SANADA, SANADA, Jeff Cobb.
Right.
Obviously, with Bushi being a junior, it's a little bit more challenging for him because there are no junior heavyweights in United Empire.
Not for right now.
At least right now. Here's my thing. I want to see Robbie Eagles in United Empire.
I think that I was thinking like they need a good junior heavyweight, and that
they got to have a really good junior heavyweight. El Phantasmo, I think he's too much of a renegade to be a part of United Empire.
No, El Phantasmo is not a good.
He's a Bullet Club guy.
He's a Bullet Club guy.
Yep. Robbie Eagles would be the right guy.
Yep.
He's Australian, so country. I mean, Aaron Henare is from New Zealand. It's not the same.
But we talked about having that sort of like country guy, like that sort of like outback renegade outlaw.
Robbie Eagles.
Robbie Eagles. We were thinking about like if oh God, who was that? Corey Graves' brother. What was his name?
Sam Adonis.
Sam Adonis. If Sam Adonis was in Japan, he'd be part of United Empire.
And he would be representing the American part of it.
Right, that renegade outlaw.
Because now keep in mind is that the gimmick that Sam Adonis was, he was the pro-Trump supporter in Mexico, and he was the leader of that faction that people like Brian Cage were in. And they were uber. Like, they were like like waving flags that literally had Trump's face on it in Mexico around 2015, 2016. Right. You can't get more heat than that.
Right. But the point being is that
there are so many people that can join it, but the problem is that with the United Empire, you are limited to one person per country or culture.
But that is the beauty of it as well, because there are so many different people that can join a faction like this.
You know what I'd really like to see, and I'm not even sure.
And quite frankly, when it comes to New Japan, you shouldn't really have more than like 7 or 8 people per faction.
And here's my thing: I wanna see some controversy with the United Empire to a point of craziness. I want to see either an Indian member, like Indian member of it,
right? Which like the Dot Indians, like subcontinent Indians, right?
That would be crazy to the United Empire. Are you kidding? That would be insanely controversial.
What about the fat 8-year-old Indian boy?
Right? What was his name?
I can't remember. I watch a lot of
Mark Eady, right?
Mark Eady.
Apparently, Peanut Gallery does not know who he watches at all. But the problem
is that one guy who's the hawk?
It's either that, or I would love to see like a Ugandan, like sub-Saharan African member,
like IRL, like Kofi Kingston if he went to New Japan became a heel.
I mean, it was West Ghana part of the was that part of
sub-Saharan? Yes, technically.
No. Well, I mean, I was talking about more so as a part of British Empire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ghana was a huge part of the British Empire.
Okay, I mean, I could see that physically. I'm just not sure what would happen.
But
here.
Kofi Kingston has his dick firmly into the asshole of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But I would love to see that kind of not only racial integration, but also that controversial part where, I'm the representative of this country, but I'm underneath a Brit. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
And, this is another thing I found interesting, just in general. And we're talking about Bullet Club versus, for example, night number 1, Bullet Club was facing a faction that was not associated with any faction. Like the match between Evil, Yujiro, Taichi, and Dick Togo versus Toriano, Tenzan, Tiger Mask, and Master Wato.
Was it number 1 and number 2?
It was night number 1. But night number 2 was really kind of the same thing, where Yujiro and Taichi were facing Hiroyoshi, Tenzan, Master Wato. I think this kind of harkens back to my thing about how Bullet Club is kind of that dominant heel faction, trying to get one over on the non-faction.
I will say it's not as popular as it once was.
No,
definitely.
Because there are a lot of face factions now.
Right.
And I think that Bullet Club's rivalry, I mean, they've done a lot of rivalries with a lot of different people, but I think their big one right now, I think, is
with just New Japan in general.
Well,
that's
my point. My point is that
I feel like
Bullet Club is kind of the big heel faction right now, even though they started out as a renegade.
I think they should harken back to that renegade-esque style. I feel.
Maybe. And I think that's what's missing from it. We're not getting a lot of
you're getting a lot of individual rivalries, like with Evil and Toru Yano, but it's like, let's really start to promote going against New Japan in general. Mm-hmm. I'm usually not the biggest fans of factions or anything like that.
But the point being is that I think that Bullet Club has kind of taken on that mantle of that heel faction in general.
There's a thing about controversy that I really enjoy, and they're really, other than maybe United Empire that has the opportunity to have some controversy, there really isn't anything there. And I think part of it also, it's like, they don't know who wants to be a main eventer. It's like Evil was double champion at one point, where Bullet Club was actually now starting to gain that momentum again.
Bullet Club is kind of put off to the wayside now, because really
right now United Empire is the main focus.
Is the new dominant heel. Even though they're not big, they're kind of the dominant heel faction. Here's Bullet Club kind of languishing off to the sidelines.
But they have titles. But then you have like Jon Moxley, who has that stranglehold on the United States Heavyweight Champion, where they don't want him to lose it. But at the same time, how much traveling can he do? I think they really got to bring back that belt.
They got to bring back here's the thing, is that Bullet Club will not be revived until travel comes back. That's my opinion.
Right, absolutely, 100%.
I don't think that Bullet Club, because there are obviously a lot of people outside of Japan that are part of Bullet Club in spirit in some way.
Right, and it's really hard to bring any kind of other people back, like
you got to bring back
Kenta.
Gallows and Anderson. You got to bring back Kenta. You got to bring back even someone like
El Phantasmo. You got to bring back that strong junior heavyweight that was going to go for the heavyweight champion. With
you got to bring back even Kenny Omega, because he's part of the Bullet Club.
Well, kind of. I would say that he's more so kind of by himself. He's kind of in his own weird thing.
He is. He's kind of but you know what? Hey, that would be a great addition.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing about this, is that travel will definitely really shoehorn in, I think, a lot of rivalries that New Japan are thinking.
I think it's going to bring New Japan. It's going to bring Bullet Club back up to kind of the top faction.
And I think like one thing that we said about Robbie Eagles is a very important thing. Is a guy who will really fit within that premise of the United Empire, a great junior heavyweight from a territory that is still at least to a point British controlled, and that's what we need. We need some controversy kind of pushed into it, and also the problem is New Japan Strong. It's almost its own thing. Let's start, and they can't integrate that in yet. So it's very challenging.
They're kind of in limbo right now.
Right, and it's really hard. And I mean, I definitely understand New Japan's problem, and they're trying their best.
And I really do like how they're bringing United Empire. You know, they're kind of bringing that together, doing a slow burn.
They're trying their best to do what they can do, and they're doing a great job with it, but they don't have all the tools in the toolbox yet.
Right, and I think that once things do open back up, I can see a lot of those foreigners
100%.
Come back into the Bullet Club, kind of displace some of those other ones. I mean, I could see fucking Evil go to United Empire at some point. I mean, I could possibly. I mean,
I don't want to take anything away from Great O'Khan. That's the problem.
That's
there.
the problem. Great O'Khan is the bee's knees right now with the United Empire.
Exactly. I think Evil's perfect in Bullet Club.
And yeah, he's perfect in Bullet Club. But I think that as Bullet Club brings back those foreigners, I fear that Evil might be put off to the wayside. Evil might need to do something a little bit different. But
maybe start his own thing.
Yeah, maybe start his own faction.
Maybe start something a little more controversial. Here's the one thing that I love about Evil is that he is the king of darkness.
He is,
and I feel like
I want something a little more dark.
I want that edgy dark. I want a nice edgy dark team that does. I want like Brood on steroids dark.
That's what I was thinking.
Like maybe something with a little more hardcore edge or. Something to where they will actually like brutalize the person to where any match under them will be won under referee stoppage or something. That's what I want. I want brutal.
But yeah, and
I think that's something that's kind of hurt.
The point is that it feels like Bullet Club is kind of lost right now. They're just kind of languishing and waiting for something to happen. It's
once again, I feel like it's hard because of the pandemic.
It is, but
it really is.
But you understand where I'm coming from.
100. I agree with you 100%.
You know, that Empire is really kind of
taking and obviously with these forbidden doors opening up with a bunch of these other companies, there's going to be a lot more freedom to do a bunch of other things. Where maybe the Elite may not rejoin Bullet Club, but the Elite will be a different faction within of itself. We'll obviously have
we'll have Gallows and Anderson rejoin the Bullet Club because they're kind of there already. They're like halfway Bullet Club anyways.
They're kind of halfway, but then we'll obviously see like people joining back and forth. But I think most people will get the picture.
Yeah.
Is that the once again, here's the pandemic getting in the problem where New Japan is trying their best to make sure that there's good, entertaining matches, and they're doing their best, and they're doing good stuff.
I think
but
that New Japan is...
There's definitely a limit to what they can do.
And I think that New Japan over the next 6 months, I think that you'll see them kind of recapture that spirit.
100%.
Of Bullet Club.
By the end of the year, New Japan will have its spirit back, no problem.
Right.
But for right now, especially with Dontaku, it was just kind of missing something. I can't tell you what. I think maybe part of it was the change in schedule. But that's outside of their own thing, so I can't nick them for it. And that's why we did make Pro Wrestling Majestic again within of its own little bubble instead of having it each individual match.
Right. So anyways, that's kind of what we have. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to be going over WrestleMania Backlash.
Yes, and really that's pretty much it. I'm going to do a wrestling lesson around Backlash. And Peanut Gallery will try to do something around kind of the over-encompassing thing of that, or something around WWE.
I have not yet decided.
Yes, but if you did enjoy this, remember to subscribe to the channel. You guys have been freaking awesome. We're going so freaking fast and crazy.
Website, I'm hoping will be done by next week.
Yes. We'll have really cool exclusive content for maybe for some
exclusive news stories, opinions, all that fun stuff.
For maybe some paid subs or something.
And we are also, I'm thinking that we do a gallery of our predictions for those people that are not following us on Instagram or Snapchat.
Yes, follow that too.
Encourage that. And
definitely.
We'll give our full opinion on it. But you know what? We will let you know once that website is up. But remember, next week... This is a special Saturday. Next week's be back on Sunday.
Yep.
But as always, be
majestic.